Do you just need a few good prepper hacks to get you going? Here you go. Hi, I'm Jonathan, the Provident Prepper. One thing that I love about preppers is they're always willing to share some ideas to help others get going. So we've been blessed to have several of our prepper friends share some of their hacks, and we hope that these are great help for you.
This pantry is probably my very favorite prepper hack. So let's just start with the way that it's organized, because organization can make all the difference in the world. Right here I have my wheat grinder that I use regularly, and for those of you who are familiar with us, we cook a lot of our food from scratch, so that makes a huge difference here. This is my country living grain mill. I only use it occasionally, but it's all set up so that when the power does go out, I can very easily grind my wheat. So it's right here, and it's covered with this plastic just so that it always stays nice and clean. Down here, I have some of my different grains and my bread flour. And then here I have my wheat. So it's really quick and easy because I just take it out of there and put it right in here. Do you see all these buckets that I have here that are just lining the floor? This is a really good, safe place for these heavy buckets to be. And they just line everywhere. Now I've got the 5-gallon ones that hold items that I use a lot of, like regular oats. We go through those like crazy, but we don't go through quite as much popcorn. But the cool thing about these is we have these gamma seal lids that just spin off. So these are dried hash browns, and we just keep them like that. There's always a cup in there. But what we do is we've got food storage in buckets downstairs, and where it's nice and cool. This pantry gets warmer, so the food doesn't stay good as long. But what I do is I just haul up another bucket from downstairs when one of these is empty, and I refill it. And so it's a great opportunity for us to rotate our food storage very quickly and very easily, and yet I still have most of what I need right here at my fingertips. One of the other things about the pantry is we had built this special, John designed these for me, but we built this special shelf right in here that is just the perfect height for these number 10 cans, because we store a lot of our food in the number 10 cans. When we open it, we put these little plastic lids on it, and then we're able to just continue to use it very conveniently up here. So as you design your food storage, it makes all the difference when you plan accordingly to utilize the foods that you have stored so that you can keep them rotated. If you can find rolling can racks like these, they are really slick. I'm not sure that if I had it to do over again, I would invest the resources in these actual racks. I've seen some homemade ones that are fantastic. But if I just keep them in the box and rotate them, that works too. But the really nice thing about this is you just reach in and take a can, and then it all moves forward. You restock it from right here. One of the little hacks that I use are containers. So I like to have a year's supply of all of the spices and vinegars and sauces that I use. So in these boxes, like there's the teriyaki sauce and my rice vinegar, they're kept nice here where they're organized. Yet if we had an earthquake, it's not going to protect them perfectly, but they're going to fare much better off. You can see the boxes just pull out really easily and go back. And we have a tradition in our family where we have fried rice. I actually need to store a lot of soy sauce, but I prefer to do it in the smaller containers. And these, it's just perfect. It fits in this little box, easy to rotate. One of the ways that we've solved some of our rotation problem is just through location. So all of my canned goods are on these shelves. This is an eye level shelf. And these are my canned beans. And you can see these are the beans that we take from. Now, when I purchase new beans, they go up on this top shelf. They're in the cases. Most of the time they're still wrapped, but it makes it so that they can be moved around really easily. But we take those beans and put them here as soon as we have used these up. But that's a real quick and easy way to make sure that we are rotating it correctly. These are the shelves in my bottle room, and you can tell that it's July because we've used up a lot of the fruit that we have in here, and come this fall we should have another bumper crop from our garden that we're able to replenish some of this. But there's a couple of hacks in here that I want to talk about. The first one is that we take any of the empty bottles and we fill them with water. We clean them out really well and fill them with water, and we store them full. I've got another little area here that you can see. And what that does, it does two things. These bottles take up the same amount of space whether they're full or empty. And so by having these bottles full of water, we have just a little bit of extra water in our storage. The other thing is when it's time to actually bottle, the jars are already clean. I just have to dump out the water and fill them up. One of the other hacks that we have are these little sock sleeves. So when we first started doing this, we were using the entire sock, and I didn't like that. To me, the home bottled goods are kind of like artwork. They're just beautiful. And yet these socks cushion them with an earthquake, right? And would help a little bit. And so that was the point behind them. And so our compromise was that we would use partial pieces of sock so that I could still see what the food was. So when I come down here, it's not perfectly organized because it's so dynamic, right? There's always changing. We're bottling all the time. And this way I can actually see what's in the jars. But that's kind of a little bit of our earthquake protection, is just these little sleeves that we have on the jars. And John's done a really good job with these shelves because the way he's designed them, they have these bars in front to help the jars from sliding off. And the jars are divided in there. You can see those little dividers so that it kind of helps them not only be organized and stay back there, but so that they won't hop around too terribly much. Because it would be sad to lose all this in an earthquake.
So one of our staples in our food storage is pasta. So what we do is we buy these from Walmart. They're like $1 for a pound of pasta, but they only last for like a couple of years, and we're afraid of bugs getting into them. So we got these big Mylar bags, and so we have 5 gallons of rotini and 5 gallons of small shells and 5 gallons of big shells back there. And so that way we can have a long-term food storage of all the pastas we love and not worry about bugs getting in them. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that our Mylar bags would still fit in the buckets even with the lids on. But you can see it would be kind of tricky. If you sealed this right now, there would be so much air in it you wouldn't be able to get it in there. So this is our way of getting around that. Riker here is going to hold the phone and video us. Now that we've sealed everything but just this little end, we take our little handheld vacuum here and we just suck all the air out. And then we seal it. And just like that, you've got a vacuum sealed Mylar bag of food.
Hi, I'm Debbie, and I just wanted to share an idea with you. Recently, we lost my mother-in-law, and we were asked to take care of all of her personal financial information, and we really had no idea where to start. We didn't know where she banked, if she had life insurance, where the title to her home was, any of that kind of information. Up with this idea. In my office, I got these 3 ring binders. The first one is vehicles. It has vehicle titles and registrations in it. The next one is insurance. Dental, medical, homeowners, car, any type of insurance policy that we have would be found in this book. The next one is bank statements. Each month as the bank statement comes, I put it in this binder so anyone can see where we bank, how much is in the account, and the name of the account. The next one is an important one. It's an emergency binder. In it, the first thing is a list of emergency phone numbers, those numbers that I don't have memorized for children, grandchildren, grandparents, anybody that I might want to call in an emergency. It also has pictures of our loved ones and any important information, their birth date, that kind of stuff. It also has a list of what to grab if we have 5 minutes of notice or 10 minutes of notice or an hour's worth of notice if we had to leave our home, what we would want to grab. And it also explains where that item is in our home. The next one is our personal family trust. So in a matter of seconds, if I had to leave my home, I could run in and grab all of these binders and in a matter of seconds have all of my important information. We came across this little canning hack that we wanted to share. We are not lucky enough to have our own apple trees, so we are kind of depending on farmers selling apples and then having to pay the price that they're asking. We came across this little hack. We buy these number 10 cans of sliced peeled apples. We got ours for about $6 a can. Then we can store them that way until we have a convenient day. Then we can open the can and we bottle spiced apple pie filling, or we pop it into a blender, blend it up, and we have applesauce. Then we just pour it into the jars, which are more user-friendly for our family since we're a family of 2. By doing this, the day that I made the applesauce, it was super quick and easy. From opening the number 10 can to when it was in the process or processing was about 15 minutes. Made it super quick and super easy and in a container that's more user-friendly for our family. This is one way that we store water for an emergency use. I save the empty laundry detergent containers. I don't rinse them out super well. I leave a little bit of soap in them. Then I fill it with water. Then in an emergency situation, we can take it, tip it over, and there's a really nice convenient spout. You can wash your hands. You can use it in the house. You can use it outside in the garden area. You can take it camping. It's a very durable container and it has a nice carry handle. Super easy to store.
We like to store baking supplies in our food storage, and one thing that can be a little tricky is brown sugar. It gradually goes a little hard over time. So I leave mine in the original package. You can store it directly into a 5-gallon bucket, or you can put it inside a Mylar bag inside a 5-gallon bucket and then seal the Mylar bag up. Don't put an oxygen absorber in there though, because it'll make the sugar go harder faster. One thing that's important once you get it in your bucket is to make sure that your lid has a good rubber seal. This one has a white seal around it and you can see it there, and make sure that it's on your bucket hard, and that'll help keep the sugar a little softer. You could also use a gamma lid so that you can twist the lid open and closed. Those have a good rubber seal on them as well. If you have brown sugar that's gone hard, there are a few options. You can put it in a bowl and put it in the microwave for 15 seconds at a time. The heat from the microwave will loosen the brown sugar up. You can also just add it to your baking mixture, and the liquid in the baking mixture will help soften it over time. Another option is, if it's really hard, you can grate it with a cheese grater. That breaks the chunks up small enough that then it can incorporate into the mixture of your baking. Another option, if you don't have brown sugar, or if your brown sugar is hard and you don't think you can use it, is to make your own brown sugar. I made this morning using 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 tablespoon of regular molasses. And I just worked it together to work all the molasses into the brown sugar. If you want dark brown sugar, use 1 cup of granulated sugar and 2 tablespoons of molasses and mix it together.
So there you have it. Those are some great hacks that hopefully will help you on your way. And we want to thank our prepper friends for sharing those with us. But what we know is that each of you probably have some prepper hacks that you would like to share. So that is our question of the day. What prepper hack would you like to share with us? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.